Victor Madsen woke up every morning to a silence he had bought and paid for, a $3 million view, and not a single soul to share it with. In the corporate world, they called him the closer, but in this room, he was just a ghost in a tailored suit. Precision was his power. Every cufflink was a statement. Every word he would speak was a weapon. Victor Madsen built his life on words. He dominated boardrooms with a mastery of the psychological squeeze. By 37, he had closed more deals than anyone in the firm's history. But at Kreider Capital, you're only as good as your last kill. A younger rival, Marcus, was already measuring the drapes in Victor's office. The pressure was mounting. He was the golden boy, the man who finished conversations. But every empire has a hidden debt. While Victor was winning boardrooms, he was losing his home. He hadn't spoken to his daughter Lily in 8 months. He told himself it was just a phase. He was wrong. Dead wrong. The Bellamy deal, a $400 million obsession, was the one that would make him a partner. He obsessed over every detail, every number, every exit ramp. He expected a war. Instead, he got an old man who said nothing. Victor talked for 20 minutes without breathing. He used logic, emotion, and data. Ashworth just blinked and said nothing. The room felt heavy. Victor felt the need to fill the void, to justify, to explain. He was negotiating against his own shadow. Panic set in. In the silence, Victor's own words started to echo back at him. They sounded hollow. He offered a 2% discount. Nothing. He offered to restructure the debt. Still nothing. By the time 45 minutes had passed, Victor had given away everything he had spent months preparing to protect. He was desperate for a no, just so he could start fighting. Finally, Ashworth stood up and reached out his hand. The deal closed. Victor walked out of that room thinking he had won. It wasn't until he got back to the office that he realized he had just cost his firm $40 million. His reputation was in tatters. The partners were livid. Marcus, the young rival, was smirking from the corner. The closer had been taken to the cleaners. He spent that night replaying the tape in his head. He realized that Ashworth hadn't defeated him. Victor had defeated himself. He remembered his father's words. The loudest voice in the room is the weakest one. Victor finally understood. His father wasn't talking about volume. He was talking about insecurity. Victor spoke because he was afraid of what he'd hear if he didn't. He took a week off. He drove until the skyscrapers disappeared. He found Ashworth in a place that didn't know the value of a $400 million deal. Ashworth didn't seem surprised to see him. They worked in silence for 2 hours. Finally, Victor asked, "How did you do it?" Ashworth looked at him. "I didn't do anything. I just gave you the space to negotiate against your own fear." "Silence is a mirror," Ashworth said. "Most people break it with words because they can't stand what they see. If you want to be a master of the room, you have to be a master of yourself first. You think you need to speak to be heard, but you need to be present to be heard. Go home, Victor. Learn to listen to the things that aren't being said." Victor drove back to the city a different person. He called Lily. She didn't answer. In the past, he would have left a 5-minute explanation of why he was busy. This time, he just breathed. He stayed on the line for 60 seconds, just listening to the silence of her world. Then he hung up. Lily was confused. For the first time, her father hadn't tried to dominate the airwaves. A week later, she sent a text. "Coffee? Thursday?" He arrived early. He didn't bring a pitch. He didn't bring a gift. He was terrified. In a boardroom, he was a giant. Here, he felt like a child. Lily arrived, defensive and guarded. She waited for the speech, for the closer to start his routine. But Victor said absolutely nothing. 1 minute passed. 2. He just looked at his daughter and let her see him. Finally, she broke. She talked about the graduations he missed and the loneliness she felt. Victor didn't defend himself. He didn't explain. He just listened. He realized that for her, his winning had been her losing. When she was finished, he reached out his hand, palm up. She took it. In that moment, more was communicated than in every phone call they had ever exchanged. They didn't have a deal. They had a beginning. Victor walked back to his penthouse, but the silence didn't feel sterile anymore. The next Monday, he walked into Kreider Capital and resigned. He didn't make a big speech. He just handed in his keys and walked away. Marcus got the office, but Victor got his life back. He realized that the wealth he had been chasing was just a poor substitute for the presence he had been avoiding. Now, he sees Lily every Sunday. They don't talk about mergers or stock options. Sometimes they walk for miles without saying a word. And every time, Victor feels more heard than he ever did in a boardroom. He still visits Ashworth once a month, not to learn how to negotiate, but to learn how to live. Ashworth taught him that the strongest thing you can say is often nothing at all. Victor Madsen, the man who used to finish conversations, now spends his life opening them. He discovered that power isn't in the loudest voice. It's in the deepest listening. Silence isn't the absence of power. It's the presence of trust. Trust that you are enough, even when you aren't saying a word. Next time you feel the need to fill the space, try staying in it instead. You might just find the very thing you've been looking for. What silence are you afraid of? What are you trying to drown out with your words? Remember, the world finally has a chance to speak to you when you stop talking. The strongest thing you can say is nothing. It's the presence of trust. It's the strength found in listening. The strongest thing you can say is nothing.